I've got a hitch here on my Toyota Sienna. It's never had the wiring installed so that I can connect a trailer and have the taillights and blinkers work. This kind of vehicle, you don't want to pull a big trailer, but you can pull a small trailer with a hitch like this. But you need to have the lights. It's not too hard. Let me show you a few tricks and we'll get this done. Welcome to Tomahawk DIY. I'm Mike. Let's take a look. The first trick is undoing these two bolts. This is a 10mm socket. Now to get this light out, there's a couple tabs over on the side here. So we want to pull it straight back. Like that. You pull it gently, takes a little force. Don't pry it out like this. Let me show you why. Alright, you pull this straight back because there's a few clips. There's one here, there's another plastic clip up here, and there's a metal clip down there. In order to wire up a generic 4-pin wire, 4-pin trailer plug like this, on your vehicle you're going to need to figure out which wire runs which blinker and which one runs the brake light. So first, let's get this fixture out of this whole assembly out of the way by unplugging those. Next, we're going to take our multimeter. I'll include a link to one of these on Amazon if you don't have one already. Turn to DC voltage there. That's the straight line with a little dash under it. And now we got to turn on this blinker. So I'm going to go put the keys in the ignition and turn on the blinker. Alright, so you can see down the front blinker, it's busy going. That means the signal for this blinker is also going. So looking at this, I'm going to guess that my white is in neutral. I know that, as I paid attention here, I know that this plug is my brake light, which means it's this one. So that means one of these should be the blinker. So I'm going to go from the white wire to the brown wire. And the colors of wires are going to be different on your specific vehicle. So take a few minutes and test it. With each blink of the light, we're jumping between about 0 and 5 volts. And that's from the white to the brown wire. So I know that this white and brown combination, that's the white is going to be my my ground. The brown is the right blinker. Okay, let's go turn on the brake lights. I've wedged a shovel into my brake light, and now we're going to cross between the white and the blue on this particular one. And I see here that it's 10 volts DC. This blue wire here is the brake light. Now we need to figure out the left side. This one here on the Sienna, the white and the yellow, there's purple, white, and yellow. I'm going to go from the white to the purple. Get those in. Okay. Now, again, we see DC voltage flashing from 0 to 5 between the white and the yellow. Now, before we go any farther, let's check that everything's working. I have plugged my trailer here, and here's the wiring to be installed. I'm going to go ahead and just connect these together. With those connected, standard trailer wiring has the green wire, the standard 4-wire trailer. We've got the green wire meaning the right blinker, the yellow wire meaning the left blinker, the brown wire meaning the brakes, and the white being the ground. So, remember what we learned here? We figured out that this brown wire is the right blinker. So I'm going to take my white ground, I'm going to connect it in there, and then I'm going to take the green for the trailer for my right blinker and put it in there. So you can see now that I'm touching the wiring. Now let me show you, my trailer light is blinking for the right turn signal. Okay, I recommend you go through and check your brake lights and your left blinker. Make sure everything's working properly, have your trailer set up so you can confirm. Alternatively, you can also buy kits that actually have your brake, your left turn, your right turn with indicator lights, so you know when they're set up and functioning properly. Now it's obviously getting kind of dark. We've seen the blinkers working. It's time for bed. We're back in the daylight now, and we need to figure out how to splice with the white wire with the black stripe and the brown wire. So looking around in here, I think I've got a clue. I'm gonna take off this electrical tape. Alright, so this becomes the moment of truth. We're gonna have to cut into our wire and splice in some new wire. Now, if I was using wire that I bought, I would buy a different color for each of my trailer wires. The green, yellow, brown, and white. But since I've got this red wire here, that's what I'm going to use. Okay, that's in there good. Just to make it easier for myself, or if someone has to get back in here, I've labeled this as green. I'm going to fish it up from the inside. I want to be careful about where I clip this because I kind of have one chance to get it right. The other side. Alright, and now crimp it down. Let's make sure both wires are in there. They are. We're going to get the white wire, our ground wire, wired up. I've labeled this white here. Now if you want to save yourself some time, don't do what I'm doing. This is the way you do it to save some money. If you want to save some time, there's actually some kits out there that have the plugs with the wires all ready to go, and it makes it super easy. But before we mess with doing more of these, I'm going to check that this still works. I'm going to hook my light back up here and turn on my blinker and make sure the right blinker functions properly with the vehicle and the trailer. I've connected my plugs back to my light. I'm just going to set it here carefully. I've also temporarily wired up the trailer with my white wire connected, my green wire connected, and hooked up to the trailer. Okay, here we go. All right, look at that. They're both blinking. Here, up here on the back of the vehicle, and I walked by the front and it's blinking as well. All right, let's get our blue wire connected to the brown wire. Why, oh why, didn't Toyota leave a little bit of slack wire on here? Now I'm tucking all these wires back into this protective sheathing. Because we've already got a white wire connection here, we don't need to do a white wire on any of the others. Just the this blue one that goes to my brake. Okay, remember on my standard trailer wiring, this brown wire is for the brake light, the tail light, and so it's going to be the blue one here. We'll get that wired up, and then the yellow one is my left blinker. Okay, let's get this one spliced in. Pinch this down nice and tight. Make sure our wires are all in there snugly. They seem to be. Trim off this extra. Be careful not to cut any of our wires while we're at it. Okay. Let's reconnect our wiring. Larger one down here on the bottom, smaller one up here on the top. It's a brake light. Before I do that, I'm going to put a little electrical tape around here just to hold this trailer wire in place a bit better. Okay, I'm going to slide this one back in. I'm going to be careful my wires aren't getting pinched inside there. Okay, let's tighten these bolts back down. Before I put this trim back in, I'm going to look in here, decide exactly how I want to chase my wiring down through. bracket in here I'm going to go behind. I'm going to look, be sure I don't have any spots where I'm pinching the wire. I'm going to go ahead and clip my trim piece back in place. Just like that. Now we got the yellow wire ready to go, all labeled. Let's secure and put our right tail light assembly back in place. Just snap those in place. Gonna mind my wires now as they go in, make sure I'm not pinching anything. And we'll just get these secured down. Okay, coming down here I need to move this splash guard, and this will give me a path where the wire to be plugged in easily here. Use a screwdriver to pop up these little tabs, and that way you can get to the sockets under them. Comment if you know what these are for. I'm thinking they might be hang your groceries on them or something, but I don't know. And then conveniently it's the same 10mm socket that's on your tail light. Now you can use your screwdriver to pop out each of these little guys. They need to come under here and pop some little trim holders. Hopefully we don't break any in the process. There we go. See how we did. So we're going to chase our wire through this grommet, and make sure you don't lose this. We're going to want to seal it up nice and tight before we're done. And we're going to pull it out down below by the ball here. I'm going to take my grommet here, and rather than cut out the edge, I'm going to punch a hole through the middle of it here. Just like that. Now I'm going to chase my wires through. Again, this is just keeping the wire from rubbing on the metal edge down here. And then I'll get some sealant. There we go. Look at that. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Let's take some of this leak stopper rubber flex, clear flexible sealant, and we'll seal up our grommet here. All right. We'll give this some time to start drying while we get wires spliced in. And with those ends on, now we can start splicing in these individual wires. Okay, that's snug. That's the next one. Got brown. Let's get the last one in. Get this yellow one in. Okay, we've got all 4 of the wires spliced. Before we finish closing all the trim up inside, let's run a quick test on our wiring. Plug it into the trailer. Let's go start turning on lights. Okay, it looks like the right blinkers are working. The left blinkers are working. Okay, with all lights working, let's get it closed up and we're done with the job. Oh, let me also show. And I took and taped the wiring up in place, being careful to avoid the different slots. Try and keep it out of the way. All right, we're going to slide this down in place, being careful to avoid catching my wiring. Remember, I got 6 of those to pop in place. Okay, I think we got it. We got to put these clips back in. We did it. We got trailer harness wired to the Sienna so that now this trailer can have lights that correspond with the blinkers. You see the two blinkers on the minivan going right now and the blinker down at each side of the trailer. So it wasn't too hard. I'll leave a couple links with Amazon, their Amazon affiliate links, where you can either pick up the CURT trailer harness setup that's a little quicker. It'll save you some time because it already has clips, so you just clip the wires in for your van. They have those same kits for lots of different vehicles. And I'll include a link for the wiring harness just like I did that'll save you some money. It'll take you a little bit longer because you've got to splice the wires together, but it works as well. So please like the video, subscribe, leave some comments, let others know what worked for you, what questions you have, and I hope you have a great day.